Fellow Pigsters, the live stream is coming right up, so you guys should sit down, kick back, maybe grab a cold one and enjoy the wait. And if you're a fan of elevator music, well, you're in luck, because you could expect about 10 minutes of it. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see what Piggy says when he goes live. Hey there, friends and fellow Pigsters. The live stream is coming right up, so you guys should sit down, kick back, maybe grab a cold one and enjoy the wait. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see what Piggy says when he goes live. Hey there, friends and fellow Pigsters. The live stream is coming right up, so you guys should sit down, kick back, maybe grab a cold one and enjoy the wait. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see what Piggy says when he goes live. These nuts, lady nuts. You know what I hate? I hate when I'm trying to post on Instagram a little bit of a story to try to shill this live stream, and instead what ends up happening is nothing, because it's not posting. Look at that. I'm trying to post this on Instagram. The other day I had to wait like pretty much 24 hours to post a video on Instagram. That last video that I did with a little bit of a pressure change. I don't know why it took a while. Look at that. I added a little bit of a new theme there. heated theme on the chat there. I want to play around with the times that I do these live streams. I know Sunday I put out schedule, or Saturday I put up a schedule, and I didn't do one on Sunday. I planned to do this stream last Sunday, but instead I'm going to do it today, and way earlier way earlier, because I have another engagement at 9. But yeah, this isn't posting. That's phenomenal. So today, what I thought I'd do is do a little bit of a live book review of one of my favorites, if not probably, well, first of all, it's my first magic book of all time. It's my first magic book, and it's definitely one that got me really thinking about other things other than, you know, just different aspects of magic. So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about it. Now, when I was younger, I got this thin version of this. By thin, I mean the smaller version. There are two versions. There's a really thick version of this book, and then there's a thin sort of pocket size, which by pocket size, I mean like Shane Diesel pocket. Like, it has to be Shane Diesel's pocket, not my pocket, but it's still a smaller version of the book. Mussolini's a piece of shit. But Paolo killing it, man. Damn, dude, this thing's still not posting. Are you serious? So yeah, so that's what I thought I'd do today. Just do that, and then so I'm gonna have 2 streams a week, one on Wednesday and one on Sunday. So one of them is gonna be dedicated towards a particular subject, and the other one's just gonna be like a chill, you know, Q&A sort of thing, like usual. But this one in particular, I want to try it out with Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. I did write some notes. I did prepare for this, so it's not just me riffing on the book for a little bit. So I did write some notes, and hopefully, you know, might inspire you to get the book, even if you're somebody that that is someone that, you know, is well advanced into magic. This book still has some golden stuff. People tend to ask me, "Oh, Pickcake, what books do you like?" Dude, a fucking Magic for Dummies, Magic for Street Magic for Idiots Guide, or whatever. Those are the best books that I think, because the people that they like got to consult for the books are well-known magicians. Paul Harris, Greg Wilson, David Williamson. Like, you have all these people, and they bring up together these super easy tricks. Like, those are really some of my favorite books. Obviously, you have the you know, actual magic books, Art of Astonishment. You have Even Now, Magic's Dead, even though that's not a magic book, but you know, things like that still. But this one in particular is a pure magic book. This one, there's no going about it. Look at this, dude. I'm trying to try again. Yes, try again. Try again, oh my god. Instagram, Jesus. So yeah, so that's what I thought I would do today. Let me see what the comments are. I've been skipping the comments here like a piece of shiza. Let me check. What have you guys? Elevator music. Check my channel out. Somebody's trying to show his channel. That's ignore me. Check my channel out, guys. What else do we got here? You got the complete course Playboy. Yay, Piggy. I already read Mussolini's a piece of shit. I got this book. It's a great book to start off with. I think that it's a great book regardless of what you're doing in magic, because pretty much it has so many things that would get you looking at other, you know, it's always good to go back and try to relook at things and try to see it from a beginner's perspective. I think X was saying one of these things: if you learn something, try to do it with your left hand, so that way you appreciate, or do it with your opposite hand, because some people are in fact left-handed. I'm sorry for you guys, but if you learn something, try to do it with your left hand so you could appreciate, you know, the actual time you've spent on it. People take for granted how much time they spent learning certain things. So what's this? I watch Now You See Me, which means I'm a magician now. Jesus, I don't think that's the way it works. The less I know, the better. Yeah, I'm glad. I think it was you that caught that on the last video. I put an 8-bit version of Less I Know, the Better, which is a great song. It's a fantastic little bit of a song. See this right here. Bro, am I having issues with IG? How funny is that? How fucking funny is that? Yes. Yes, I'm having issues with IG. I'm trying to post a fucking story, and it's not fucking working, dude. Let me put the thing back on here. So Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. It's my first book, as I mentioned earlier. It's my first book. It's the first one that got me introduced to card magic, even though the book is on pretty much every aspect of magic. You have pretty much rope magic, you have silk magic, you have sponge ball magic. I'm going to go over the different chapters now and talk about each one. But the book goes into a lot of depth. The car hit again. Sleight of tongue. I should make your mod here, man. The fucking, that comment killed me, bro. It's like, oh, a pig got hit by a car. If you haven't seen Sleight of Tongue's video, you gotta watch it. So pretty much Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. It's 2 versions of the book. I lost the bigger one. That's the part that sucks. I lost the bigger one. For some reason, I had both versions, and even though the bigger one is the one that was the one that I bought more recently, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I still have the older, destroyed, disgusting. It doesn't have the cover anymore. There are pages missing. I still have that one, but I don't have the original bigger one. Now, what's interesting about this particular book is the beginning of the book, because Mark Wilson starts off with a little bit of an introduction that I found fairly interesting, and the way he worded it. So pretty much the beginning of the book starts off with Wilson mentioning the idea of secrets in magic. And he says that some say the real secrets of magic should never be revealed. But I believe that if you are sincerely interested, you should have the finest clear instruction possible. How crazy is that? Because even though the book is old, it still works. That's still something that we argue about to this day. So it's something fairly interesting. Oh, that this wasn't on your stream schedule. Yeah, I know. I pushed back the one on Sunday. This was supposed to be the one on Sunday, and I'm doing it earlier now because I have to do something later on. I still can't post on Instagram. This is gonna post after when it's gonna be irrelevant, but whatever. If you're, let me do this again. Let me post this again here. Hey guys, these nuts here doing a live stream. You might want to check this out, even though you might never see this. There you go, your story. All right, let's see if that posts. Probably not. Look at Jesus. He follows Wilson. He's never. Yeah, you're right. Jesus himself used Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. That's phenomenal. But yeah, so pretty much Mark Wilson's making the point there, which is fairly interesting. And also, yeah, now that somebody mentioned, and I'm sorry I'm going off a bunch of tangents here, but I'm gonna have a poll up as to times for these streams, so you guys should look for that on the YouTube channel, because I want to find out when's the best time for everyone. I know X does his at 1. I like to do mine later at night, but today I decided to do it earlier because, again, I'm doing something later on, so I'd rather have done it than missed it, so definitely look for that poll, because I'm conflicted whether or not to do them at 9ish, like 9 p.m. my time, or around nowish, so 2, 1 in the afternoon. So that's kind of what I'm stuck on. But y'all look out for that poll. But Scott of Jesus, yes I did. Okay, but Mark Wilson said a very interesting thing. He said some say the real secrets of magic should never be revealed, but I believe that if you are sincerely interested, you should have the finest clear instruction. I think that says a lot, especially about modern magic today, because you have a lot of people that have issues with posting stuff on Instagram. You have a lot of people that are not Instagram, YouTube, tutorials. I post tutorials, people have an issue with that. Again, I personally think that there's not an issue with that if you happen to not teach anything that anyone's currently selling. I think that that's one of the rules. If somebody's selling it, you shouldn't teach it. If it's something that's obscenely old, if it's something that you have a different take on, obviously you should credit as much as possible. But I think that what I'm doing is not exposure. I think that I'm teaching people teaching people with a genuine vested interest. It's not just for the sake of exposure, which seems to be what people tend to think. Oh, you just want to expose it and show people how it's done. That's not the case. I want to teach people who are genuinely interested. And it seems like Wilson has the same idea with this book. And again, you still have these threads in the Magic Cafe. I'm sure Sleight of Tongue could tell you, coursing through the Magic Cafe as often as you do, looking for information, that people still have that argument that even magic shops are pushing the line. Even for people like Penguin, Murphy's, Illusionist, you know, Vanishing Ink, people like that, they're still pushing the line according to some people, because magic shouldn't be sold to people, to the general public. Like, you should only sell magic to certain people that are actual magicians, and you have to, like, it's retarded. It's retarded, honestly, when you get to that point. But Wilson here was making a point saying that, you know, even though certain people believe that, I think that if you are sincerely interested, which is a very interesting phrase, you should still have the finest clear instruction possible, which to me, I think that his book did an excellent job at that. So yeah, this book was available many years outside the confines of magic stores, and I found this book in a Borders bookstore. So it goes to show you, you know, that this is outside of the confines of a magic store, and would definitely get, you know, these Magic Cafe keyboard warriors to think that they think that magic shouldn't be taught at all unless there's like a master student scenario, which again, I just think it's dumb. So there's really you're not exposing that because you barely have any subscribers. Damn, dude. Listen, I still am surprised, man. I'm still surprised. Even you know, I don't want to say that I have a lot, and I'm thankful to all the people that watch my stuff, but you look up magic tricks and sort by new on YouTube, and you're gonna see how many thousands and thousands and thousands of channels exist for magic. So the fact that I have more than, you know, 25k, the fact that I have more than 30k, you know, that's still something that I'm very proud of, because the 98% of people don't have that, you know. So it's kind of nuts. So I'm yeah, in the grand scope of things, I don't have a lot of people compared to others, but definitely more so than the vast majority of people. So that's something that at least I could hold true. But I just find that very antiquated. It's a very antiquated sort of mentality to have, and it's very sort of off-putting that people still think that, but you know, to each their own. And that's because we're taught as magicians to respect the elders. We use their teachings as gospel. There's another one to a certain extent that, again, I agree with X, in a sense that just because something's old doesn't mean it's good. And I think that that's one problem with magicians, is that, yeah, we respect our elders, and yeah, I always say, you know, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. People before you made up these things, that you really do have to, you know, make an effort to make sure that the historical value of magic is preserved. But at the same time, just because it's old doesn't mean it's fucking good. You have people who are these older magicians who are pieces of shit, but because they were around Vernon, because they were around, you know, the assumption is that, oh, they're great, you know, they were around in this golden age of magic. We're in a fucking golden age of magic now. Like, look how easy it is to access information. There's literally an endless amount of information that you could scrutinize, which, yeah, at the same time is could be a downside. But I think that we're at the peak, and we're pretty much hitting the best times in terms of magic. But I just find it, you know, I find that very antiquated, and a lot of people make the assumption that old is good. So are you watching a stream? Are you watching a stream here, dude? This is you and me here. But yeah, so I don't know. I just find if you guys disagree, if you guys find that, you know, a little bit, if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, obviously leave in the comments. I want to see what you guys have to say about that. William says, pieces of shit name names. Look it up on YouTube. Look up older videos on YouTube. I follow a couple older. I follow two recently channels that they dedicate themselves to posting older magic videos of, you know, the 90s and 80s, and even some from the 70s. You know, you have some Blackstone stuff there, really good stuff, like really old historical footage of magic. And pretty much oh shit, oh, this guy's here. Okay, that's funny. Damn, boy. So I just find it fairly interesting that people assume that there's old means pretty much good. So look up those channels. I know if you find what I'm subscribed to, you'll see a couple that I'm subscribed to. You see that there is a lot of older magicians that are just garbage. Bro, my bad. Yeah, sending me text when I'm trying to do a live stream. I should be smarter and put it on airplane mode. But nah, I'm dumb. See, Instagram still hasn't posted, man. I still have these two that haven't posted at all. So, and Instagram was being dumb for me yesterday. Vernon's dead, and the majority of what he says is out of date. Like, generally, what is your honest opinion about your amassed YouTube community? I think it's great. I honestly think it's great. I'm happy that there's, you know, a group of like-minded individuals that watch my stuff, that follow my content, and you know, we could have, you know, some collab back and forth on ideas and, you know, dialogue, which I find very, very interesting to have. You know, years ago you couldn't have this. I did an Elmsley count variation that I devised to look better, but I was told it was wrong, that I was doing it the wrong way. Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. If it works and if it looks good, like I don't really understand why. Oh, because you're not doing it the way it was written up with at your finger. Like old people just want to be old and hold on to their old methods. But you know, I'm not saying that all old is bad, but I'm saying that a lot of old is bad, and just because it's old doesn't mean it's good. Let's see this. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much as far as Mark Wilson's guide to magic. Now, what's interesting here is the contributions to this book. As I mentioned before, one of my favorite books is Dummy's Guide to Magic. And the reason for that is because of the contributions and the people that contributed to the book. Now, for this are a little bit of note, because when I was first reading the book, which again was my first magic book ever, I thought that Mark Wilson was like the creator of all these things, and I'm like, man, Mark Wilson's insane. So I really had no idea that, you know, again, I was young, I didn't know, but I thought that Mark Wilson was the inventor of all these tricks. But no, he had a laundry list of contributions from very well-known magicians. David Roth, Larry Anderson, Earl Nelson, Alan Wakeling, and Peter Pitt are just I think a couple of them. I think maybe there might have been more than that. But as far as that, I think that it's definitely got like a really good list of people to contribute to the book that again, in my infinite wisdom, I seem to have glossed over, thinking that Mark Wilson was the inventor of this. Another one's UF Grant. UF Grant made up a lot of interesting things, and you know, for Mark in his book, he has a lot of UF Grant's work, and it's fairly interesting to see, you know, what he could do. What do you think about people who sell magic that isn't practical? Well, I mean, that's marketing, man. Magic is a lot of marketing, to be honest, and I see that. You know, I see that trying to make a living doing magic, but it's a lot of marketing. I try to be as upfront as possible. I'm as honest as can be when it comes to the things that I personally sell. And you know, when it comes to these bigger companies, obviously they're trying to do what I'm doing, but at an infinitely larger scale. So they have to market things kind of dishonestly, and they have to market things in a way where, even though if it's not practical, they still highlight certain aspects about it that is that either might be practical or might hide, you know, certain practical aspects of it. So it's just interesting to see how they do that in a way that's not necessarily lying, but definitely stretching the truth. Now, again, not to bring this about me, but it is my stream. You know, I do sell things, and I try to be as honest as I can with them. You know, I think one of the ACANs that I sell, it's like, this isn't for everyone. You know, if you're someone that's not a confident performer, if you're someone that doesn't enjoy failure, then don't get this method, because you are not going to be happy. So, you know, I'm as upfront with the things that I kind of push. So that's, I don't know. I would rather do that than be facetious and then later on get reviews of like, yeah, this guy lied. You know, this guy's a liar. So I'd rather get that. So yeah, so the book was had a lot of good contributors, and I've gone through it many times. I luckily, and as shady as it sounds, listen, I did buy the book. All right, I did buy the book. But I acquired a PDF of it, the big one, just to be able to do this review, because I did have the smaller version, and then I did buy the bigger version. But then for some reason, I still have the smaller version, which I bought maybe 19 years ago, and the bigger version that I bought maybe 10 to 11 years ago, that one I've lost. So luckily I was able to find a PDF of it. But one of the things that I found very interesting is that the book is divided into like a bunch of several sections, and I think it's very similar to something like Tarbell, where Tarbell, he goes over certain It goes over Tarbell. It mixes a lot of things, but it's pretty much a beginner's course in magic. This one is divided into certain sections. So the first section is card magic, but really it feels like there are thousands of tricks, moves, and sleights in a book. It's a couple hundred, but it feels like thousands, because in every page there's just a bunch of stuff. You go through the pages and you're like, dude, this is never ending. This is not going to end. So the book starts with a little bit of a biography about Mark Wilson and his life, and where he's been and why he decided to write the book. And if you guys don't know anything about Mark Wilson, he's one of the early people to bring in the idea of magic on television, because one of the biggest issues that magicians had, especially in the early days of television, was conveying to the audience that what they're seeing in the studio, if you were sitting here, would be the same exact thing that you're seeing on TV. There isn't any sort of trickery, because again, the assumption can be, oh, there's just some sort of trickery afoot, a part of the camera. But Mark Wilson was very open when it came to that, and he said, the illusions that you see here would be the exact same as if you see them in person. So there's not something that we're using a camera. The camera is just your eyes in the studio. So he was very, very upfront when it came to that, and he was one of those first magicians that really kind of portrayed that idea, which is very interesting about him. And him and his wife, I think Nanny, they pretty much did a bunch of big stage illusions. They did big stage sort of effects, and they had kids that are into magic. Funny enough, I think one of them's Gregory Wilson. One of them's name is Gregory Wilson, which is very confusing, because if you look up Gregory Wilson magician, you find both. You find Greg Wilson, the one that everyone knows, and then you find Gregory Wilson, who's Mark Wilson's son. So I find that very, very funny. Mark Wilson, he's still alive. Mark Wilson is definitely still alive. He's still, I don't know if he's, maybe retired or chilling or doing something, but he's definitely chilling. Cal says Hovercard Plus cash grab ripoff. Totally bid on the trailer, which lied. Look for the reviews before buying. Yeah, again, they're gonna present the best version on trailers. They're never gonna be like, oh, this is the way it looks like in real life. They're gonna present the best version of it. So again, you can't really trust them. But if it's something, if that's an effect that you want to do, it's hard. It's kind of weird. I like the trailers that show how tricks work. I don't know if I'm alone in that. I like the trailers because, again, if I want to purchase the item, I'm buying it anyways. I want to know what I'm buying. So if, for example, there was a trailer that showed how it was a board. It was a drawing duplication board. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. That's something that I would be interested in, knowing the method, because I can't make it. I have to buy it. It's the same thing with a wallet. I'm like, I can't make a magic wallet, but I would rather know. I'd rather know what I'm getting before I spend $140 on a fucking wallet. So again, that's just me, but some people really have a disagreement with that. But I like the demos where they kind of show you what's going on, because 90% of the time you're not going to be able to make it yourself. You're not going to be able to do it and replicate it yourself. So why not show it if you're going to have to buy it anyways to do it? The fear again is that lay people are going to find it. It's like, nobody's going to fucking go to Penguin Magic and look up and buy a fucking thing, or look up a demo of your fucking wallet. Like, that's stupid. Oh man. How are you feeling? Better. It's funny, I could have done a stream now at 9 with the text that I just got. But yeah, I just still think that people tend to be a little bit blowing the proportion of exposure in magic. But whatevs. So as far as the book is concerned, it starts with card magic, and it divides each chapter by sleights and by different concepts. So for example, after going through like excruciating detail on the terminology of card magic, he goes into like how to hold a deck, certain fingers placements, holding the deck face up, holding the deck face down, spreading a deck, out jogs. He goes over everything, and he goes over each and every single bit of terminology in it. So I find that very, very interesting, and very good for a beginning magician. He goes into self-working tricks. So from self-working tricks, he goes into, somebody just subscribed. Aradam just subscribed. That's what's up. But as far as that is concerned, he goes over different he goes from self-working magic, and then from self-working magic he goes into Hindu shuffle work, overhand shuffle techniques, forcing cards, double lifts, glide, gimmick cards, and then special card tricks, and then he ends with flourishes. So I find that a really good way to divide the book, because you're starting with self-working tricks, things that you could do immediately, and then you go off into things that require sleight of hand. The Hindu shuffle, he goes over very cool Hindu shuffle techniques, and he goes over a lot of different handlings of overhand shuffle stuff. Very good stuff. Now the double lift I wouldn't necessarily like, because he just shows you how to pull up on the back and then pull 2 cards. But again, the tricks that he shows you with that are definitely stuff that still holds strong today. Now, I had the pocket-sized version of the book, which I thought was really fucking fat. I thought the pocket-sized version was like overwhelming with information, but the bigger version is straight stupid. Like it's dumb. Like looking at it now again, I'm like, wow, this is actually dumb. How much info is here? Watch the performance of a trick for download last week. Took 20 minutes to work it out and saved money there. Take time to try to figure out if it's worth it. Yeah, I think I mentioned that in the last stream. Even if it's a trick that you necessarily could figure out by the demo, which is what makes a lot of magicians apprehensive about having full performances. Again, you're buying an idea. You're supporting the magician. So it's something that if you think it's valuable, I think you should still, like go back and support the magician, even if you could figure out the method, because you're gonna get their take on it, and you are supporting them and their method and their time, dedicated to it. If it's like a piece of shit, if it's like, which I've seen this before, it's like the spectator guesses whether the card on the table is black or red, and then you show them that they're correct, and the method's exactly what you would think it is. The card's on the table is black. If they say red, you do a double lift and you show the red card. Like it's that dumb. And I forgot, I think somebody was selling that a couple years ago. I'm like, what? Huh? Like, yeah, okay, that I understand, not supporting. But if it's if it's a method, or if it's a certain thing, even if you could figure it out in a demo, I think that it also goes to support the dude. Shit, let's go through these. Let me go through these comments before I get back to the review. I just woke up from a good ass stream at the worst possible part. I even get blue balled in my in my sleep by waking up. That's hysterical, man. Could somebody tell me how to do C3 color change? Dog, you gotta look it up. I don't know why. I don't know if it's you that always asks in every fucking stream and comment, can somebody show me how to do C3 color change? Like, that's why? Jesus. Shit, let's see. Another one here. Baldness doesn't make a bad magician. Are we talking about bald? Are you trolling? Are you fucking trolling here, man? I think you're trolling here with the baldness. Let's see. Would you ever perform a bite coin? I have one. I have one in $50, and then I had one in $25, but then I let somebody borrow it and they fucking lost it years ago when I bought it, so I haven't bought it again. But I like I like it. It's not to say that I don't like it. Because as soon as you start explaining the C3, he's going to say, well, let me show you the C4 and your home will explode.
In that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Mark Wilson was a magician behind the 70s Bill Bixby TV show, The Magician. Yeah, 100%. That he goes over that in his the bio section of this particular book. So it's fairly interesting. I bought the bite coin from Wish, and then I bought the other one from Penguin. I got one from Penguin. The $50 one I got from Wish just to test it out. I want to do a review on it, and then the $25 one I got from Penguin years ago, and then this fucking dude lost it. And it wasn't the bite coin. It was before, when it was like the Johnson & Johnson. It came like a little plastic pouch. It was a piece of shit. You had to double wrap it. Like when you're, having relations with a thotty, as they say, you have to double wrap that, double bag it. So, let me see a couple other ones here. My question sounds dumb, but is it morally right to use an effect that somebody else created if you figured out the method? I I don't know. That's a very weird subject. I think morally the only thing that's wrong is if you teach it. Like if you teach it on an open platform, I think there's something wrong with that. But performing it, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that necessarily morally. Again, I that's my opinion, that I think that even if you figure something out and you do get some value from it, I do think that you should support the creator in some way. But again, that's just me. A lot of people might differ in that sort of opinion. Do I take pills for depression? No hate, just curious. Nah, dude. I don't take fucking pills for depression. That's a weird question. Oh, and I'm glad you just retracted it as I said it. That's phenomenal. I'm a beginner, but I'm drawn towards characters like Danny D'Artise, Leonard Green, and David Williamson. Yeah, I mean, obviously this stuff calls out to a lot of people, you know, because it's infectious. But again, I forgot what point I made in what video recently about not copying and not straight up ripping off, because, you know, if you copy, for example, D'Artise presentation, if you copy Leonard Green's, if you copy David Williamson, you're just an imitation of them. And I don't think that that's something that's going to help you out later on. I just think that that's going to make you an imitator as opposed to an innovator. So it's better to, I feel like it's better to try to find your own style, maybe pick and choose, take different things, and then combine it rather than just straight up emulate. What else? What else here? Ever seen that 2-deck routine called that, which I'm not going to repeat with my accent, by Juan Tamariz? Yeah, I've seen that. Kind of dope. I assume that you're talking about the same one that I've seen on YouTube. But what else is there here? Okay, yeah. So pretty much just as far as the book, let me go back to that and then I'll go back to the chat here. But the book itself, the first chapter, I think, when it deals with card magic, it's very easy to dismiss the tricks as being very simple and sometimes too simplistic. But they're straight up fucking bangers in this book. The double lift chapter has, I think, the greatest ones in the book. There's one called Sandwich Aces, which is fucking good. There's one called Thought Projection, which again, it's a 2-deck thing. It's 2 decks. It's a named card. It's not even a picked card. It's a named card, dude. And you're able to, you know, do a little bit of a routine with that with just a single double lift. And then there's the Riffle Revelation, which is, you know, a classic. You have the spectator pick a card. You show them a card that's not theirs. You tell them that they're going to stab that card in the deck and find the location of their card. And of course, you know, the twist is that they end up being the one that's holding onto their card. Magic memes. I have crippling depression. Are you 12? Are you 11? I think. Are we going to talk about context of jokes and how just repeating things that other people have said in the past without context is not funny? Like, do I have to have a conversation with you about humor and how to properly tell jokes other than just repeating things you've seen online that funnier people have said? Like, is that something that I have to explain to you? Because I think that's something that you lose with puberty. So I don't know if I have to be the first one to explain this to you. Magic memes, especially with a name like Magic Memes. Because when you let's see your previous comment here. Does pig cake suck dick? That's as fucking elementary, middle school as I've ever heard, dog. Come on, man. I'm gonna have a stream dedicated to humor, just to make sure that at least the young ones grow up learning how to do it the right way and don't just repeat stupid shit they hear online without context. Because I have crippling depression is a hysterical bit, but when you repeat it without like context, it's just dumb. I don't want to spend money on beginner DVDs and then be bored by the teacher. Pig cake is entertaining enough to keep my attention. Can't watch a Pandrea video, makes me too aggressive. That's fucking funny. Yeah, so I don't know if we have to do teach how to properly do humor, but context, just to save you the time, context is key. You can't just repeat things you've heard online, like I'm gay. You can't just say that without context, because then it makes you repeating something. It makes you repeating, like no, it makes you not repeating. It makes you just a parrot, you know. Okay, so what I was saying before I got off put by the awful context That is the joke there, or the attempt at humor there by an elementary school student. Is pretty much the book. When it comes to the card work, I think that a lot of people tend to dismiss these tricks as being too simplistic. There isn't anything new in the method, so I'm going to go over it. But if you look up thought projection, it's a fucking dope one, man. It is really a good effect. Thought projection on itself is a really, really good one. There's a couple other self-working ones. I mean, the first trick in the book is the first trick I ever taught on the channel. So that's the first trick I ever taught on the channel. It's the first trick in this Mark Wilson book. So that's something that, you know, kind of shows you the strength of that. And from that, you could come up with dozens of variations on those great little, like, beginner self-working books. Hey, Hunter. Let's see. Someone asked for deck switches. Roberto Giobbi has a book dedicated to that. Yeah, definitely. If Pigcake ever has a son, I hope he complains about him as he grows up. I hope he doesn't continue being a YouTuber if he has a child. But you win some, you lose some. Oh, Jesus. See, do I suck dick, man? Do we really have to turn this again and show how asking me that bears no context whatsoever? The only time I mention anything referring to penis is when you brought up out of nowhere your dumb comment. So if you're asking me if I suck dick, there's no context to that, Magic Memes. If you want to make a good joke, there needs to be context. You have to have the context. Right now, the context is very difficult because it's a live stream. I'm doing a book review, so therefore the context is fairly like odd. Like, you know, maybe Top Notch here has had good context here because right now, again, I'm a YouTuber, right? I'm doing videos. You're just asking me if I suck dick. If I suck dick, there's no context in that. I'm teaching you a lesson here. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching you a lesson on humor because you're going to take this and you're going to use it in your middle school class. And then what's going to end up happening is that you're not going to get a laugh. And then that's going to lead to like early onset crippling depression. You see how I brought the context in that? You see how I brought the context in that? So you want to be able to when you go back to third period math, you know, as a fifth grader, when you go to that, you know, class, you want to make sure that the jokes you say have context, because if you're just repeating things that you find online, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you, and it's going to lead to a very sad life. Anyways,
you could sacrifice 6 stores or just one.
I am a god of humor and context.
I am the god of humor and context. Y'all need to y'all need to suck off Top Notch. That's what needs to happen. Anyways, all right. So, as far as the actual tricks, now the next chapter is money magic. For the course, it's money magic, which I think is fairly interesting because he goes over basic coin and basic coin work and sleights. Now, one of the things that you shouldn't expect a lot of variety of sleights here. It's very easy. It's very basic. You're gonna have a finger palm. You're gonna have a false pass. You're going to have certain things. You're not going to have a lot of depth. They're not going to teach you the JW gangster palm in this one. You know, they're going to show you some basic coin work, but it's not going to be a big variety. He has another big section dedicated to bill magic, and he goes over a very simple version of the bill and lemon. And when I first read that, I had no idea how the fuck anybody could even think of putting a bill in a lemon. Like, I didn't understand that effect. That was even something that magicians, you know, talked about or glossed over. So I find that very fucking interesting, especially his particular handling. His handling is a little bit, it's simple, but there are better handlings of it. His doesn't use a signed bill, it uses the serial number on a bill, but it's still a very simple method that requires pretty much no work on your end to get a borrowed bill to appear inside of a freely selected lemon, as weird as that sounds. But as far as that, it's still a chapter that you still should look at if you get the book. But what I find interesting, again, is his handling is... You keep seeing Mark Wilson's difference between his stage work and then him trying to do close-up work. You know, so he's torn between that. And in the book, he puts a lot more emphasis and a lot more detail on stuff that works on stage rather than stuff that works on close-up work. So he seems to be more of a stage guy. Obviously, that's where he made, you know, his name. But you see that in the book. Not to say that you're not going to be able to understand, you know, the close-up stuff, but there's a lot more detail in the stage stuff. So, for example, there's a bill trick called 6 bill repeat, where he goes over not only his pattern, but he goes over how to do this. And for the trick, it's very simple. It's you show 6 bills, you keep throwing bills away, and then you keep showing the same amount of bills in your hand. So I find that fairly robust. Slide of tongue. See you later, man. Thank you for hopping on. Hopefully I'll be able to hop on elsewhere. You get what because of the cast, because I got hit by a vehicle. You see it's a callback. So fuck. Okay, top notch. How nice would it be if when Pig Cake went on a little monologue about a topic in detail, the chat just fucking stopped, and when he was done, he hopped back. But we're all in with pineapple pizza. Is that what happened here? Because I'm here trying to talk about it. Were you guys talking about pineapple pizza here? Pineapple pizza is an atrocity. That's a travesty and a tragedy. I don't understand how they would even fucking... Oh, we're going to put sweet on pizza. Is designed to be with cheese. That's it, dude. You just have cheese on that shit. Alright? That's all you need to have on that shit. Pineapple. Are you serious? I just got aggravated, man. I want to stop this. Because of the idiocy of putting pineapple on a pizza. When God made pizza, I can make pineapple pizza with magic. Listen, that should be the only way. That should be the only way that pineapple pizza was allowed. The only way that pineapple pizza should be allowed is if somebody could actually conjure it up with magic. If somebody could go and then make a pineapple pizza, like legitimately manifest, then yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But if you fucking just get like a... No, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, dude. So the book goes into some rope work after this. And when it came with rope magic, when I was early on learning rope magic, when I was first learning magic, rather, I liked rope magic because it was very visual. It was very strong in terms of what you see, because you know, you cut a rope, and then very visually you're able to fucking put it back together. So I found that very interesting. Now he does deal with like handkerchief stuff, which is, you know, pretty obviously. I would doubt a lot of people would be interested in handkerchief magic, but the rope stuff is something that I definitely was interested in, because I had a Jeff Sheridan phase where I wanted to do his Swan Lake rope routine as often as possible. But even like now, it's still stuff you could look at and learn, you know, pretty much most of what you need to know in rope magic. A lot of rope magic is just the basics. You know, if you learn a couple knots, you learn a couple of different ways to handle it, and that's pretty much it, dude. That is all you need, and you're pretty much good to go with that. So he does go over a lot of stuff dealing with rope magic in the book. Now, the next 2 chapters in the book were probably one of my favorites, even though there's not a lot of content in it. And one of them is impromptu magic, and the other one is mentalism. So he goes over 2 chapters, impromptu magic and mentalism. The routines are very, very basic, but they pretty much do a really good job opening the doors to the possibilities of each. The impromptu stuff, you're getting rubber band magic, you're getting matches, you're getting objects that you could find around the house, which was, you know, fairly interesting. Again, as a beginner, I didn't understand that magic had such a wide scope, and you could pick up a rubber band and do something with it. You know, if you could find some rope and you could do something with it. So I found that really interesting first reading this chapter. And then the mentalism work is very basic, but he does go over a center tear. He goes over a magazine test, and what I think is pretty much the Shane Diesel, the Tommy Guns of magic and mentalism, which is the one ahead principle. Now, the routine he shares is very flawed. It's very basic, but it still demonstrates the principle very well. And you're going to have an understanding of what the one ahead principle is, just reading that little trick that he does. But those 2 chapters were probably my second and third favorite. We're going to go over my favorite chapter in the book coming up. But I found a lot of value in, you know, the work on the magazine test. It's a very simple one. It's a very easy one to do, but it's one of those really strong ones. And a magazine test, for those that don't know, it's you have you know, you give a spectator a magazine. It's the same as a book test. You know, they take a magazine, they circle or they cross out a word, and any word in the magazine, and then they pretty much are able, or the magician's able to have predicted that. And of course, there's different levels of fairness, you know, when doing it. But the one that he shares is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Let me look, see what I've missed here. Hopefully, it's not a bunch of pineapple pizza shits. One head principle is when you cheat first, because you know that the slut is gonna cheat on you whenever she does. At least you are one ahead. Nice. Yeah, I think David Roth goes over that. David Roth goes over that in his Expert Coin Magic, verbatim. He says, listen, yeah, I think I was going through a rough divorce. I think I was going over a rough divorce when he said that. That's fucking funny. Which trick? Hold up, fuck. Why did this comments just skip and refresh? It just skipped. The comment I see now is, what the fuck did I walk into? Pineapple pizza and sluts. Great. Fantastic. What trick? Hold up, fuck. Do you use as an opener? I know that's something that I read. There's a couple, but it's honestly, I'm lazy as shit. I'm lazy as fuck. So whatever, if for example, if the opportunity arises and, you know, there happens to be a deck or whatever, if there's something that is just easy and doesn't really require a lot of work on my end, I have a thing that I think I put up, I don't know if on a channel, but I know I put it up on Patreon, called the Spread Force. I mean, I know it's ancient, but it's just the touches that I've added to it. But pretty much you have somebody, you know, you spread through the cards, you have somebody think of a card, and you're able to tell them what card they picked. So that is really simple to do. Doesn't really require a lot of work on my end. So that's something that I'll get into because I'm lazy. And then after that, I'll get into something like Yamfacan, Paul Wilson's Yamfacan, which is a very easy, any card at any number. So I'll get into that just for the sake of it, because again, it doesn't really require any work on my end. Dude, these things are still posting. Fucking Instagram, man. So yeah, those would be some good ones, and they work well together. And I mean, those pretty much, once you do that, that's pretty much it. So you do that, and then you're good to go, dude. Because, you know, you found a card that they thought of, and then they found a card in the deck at any number that they named. So you really don't need to do anything else after that. Critique pineapple cuisines and sluts. Pineapples should be eaten by themselves. A pineapple is like a okay. All right, let me let me take an aside here from the Mark Wilson. See, a pineapple is like a female, right? To me, I don't like tattoos on my females. If you have a tattoo on your person and you are a female, you are disrespecting your body, because what do you have, dude? You have like a nice little, you have a tramp stamp. What's wrong with you? That's disgusting. I'm looking at a picture of a butterfly on your back? No, thank you. Pristine, a nice pristine back, please. Same thing with pineapples. Pineapple should be enjoyed by itself. You grab it, you cut it in chunks, and you eat it. You wait till it's a little bit, you know, sweet, that's a little bit ripe, and you do it. That's pretty much how a pineapple should be enjoyed. There's no cuisine that it should be enjoyed with. It should only be enjoyed by itself. And there you go. Sluts are the same thing. I just pretty much combined it. I just combined it right there, dude. Sluts, no tattoos, and pineapple should be eaten by themselves. That's it. I'll tolerate a nipple piercing. I will tolerate that. All right. Even though, you know what, I'm stretching it, I'll tolerate it. But tattoos, I don't even want to see you. I don't even want to see you, dude. The trick by Paul Wilson is called Yamfacan. It's a fucking word. It's like a weird word to begin with. So I understand why you didn't understand my accent. Robert Ball says, hi man, I got this book when I was 15, still have it. Yeah, same man. Well, not same, not 15, but same that I got the book when I was first starting out. Would you kick a girl out of bed if she has a pig cake logo tramp stamp? Out? Yeah, that's even worse. That's even worse. If you got my logo tattooed on your person and you're trying to have relations with me, like, no, dude. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, dude. You're tattooed female. So Mark Wilson. Let's go back to Mark Wilson, and then we'll go back to this lovely topic afterwards, because I'm almost done with the review. So we'll go over that, and then we'll go back to talking about pineapples and bitches. So as far as that, Mark Wilson goes the next chapter he goes on scam school, and he talks about betches. So he goes over different bets, different little things you could do to try to rack money. And they're still very clever. There's only 6 in the book. There's only 6 in the book that's, you know, hundreds and hundreds of pages. There's only 6. So as far as that, they're still pretty interesting. Now, again, the next chapter is stage magic. And the chapters dedicated to stage and make-at-home magic are the most elaborate chapters in the entire book. So they're the most elaborate chapters. Are the ones that he spent the most time on. They're the one that he spent the most effort in and the most passion in the writing. So that's something that you have to take of note. Now, the magic illusions chapter is exactly what it sounds like. It's large scale illusions and how to construct and perform them. So it's hard to see how, you know, anyone without the funds would do something like this, but it's definitely worth reading because the principles are interesting. They're interesting to read about. They're interesting to see how, you know, stage work works per se, and it's still something that I enjoyed going through. Now, the next chapters that I don't like are the ones that deal with sponge balls and billiard balls. I don't fucking like that, just because sponge balls to me is an abomination. If you carry sponge balls on you, there's something you can't, like, oh, here are these balls that I have in my pocket. Like, really, dude? Really? All right, that's fucking weird. And billiard ball manipulation, obviously, when you're gonna have a billiard ball, you know, you're not gonna have a fucking billiard ball. Oh, look at what I practiced. So I really didn't get a lot of value from that. People might. They're very. He shares an entire sponge ball routine, so that's something that a lot of people might like. He also shares an entire cups and balls routine, which again didn't interest me, but by no means are they lacking any information, or they're very useful. They're very useful to somebody that might be interested in that. But the last chapter is probably my favorite in the book, which is the Reputation Makers. Now, the Reputation Makers is an excellent chapter, pretty much dedicated to that, exactly that, Reputation Makers. There's a trick where a dollar bill that's borrowed, and I believe the corner's torn up. It ends up appearing inside of a chapstick that they've had pretty much from the beginning. Now, some of the tricks are very situational, as he explains in the chapter, but he talks about when you're able to do them, and then how you're able to do them, and then more importantly, why you're able to do them. Because the tricks are designed to get you booked. That's what pretty much these tricks are. The reputations are designed for people to remember you. Oh, this guy, I found my dollar bill inside of his fucking chapstick, you know? So he talks about the context of using them, which, you know, I think it's definitely worth the read, and that's why that chapter ended up being my favorite one. Now, as far as the book overall, I would say definitely must have. 100% a must have, I think. Even if you're an expert, if you're somebody that's someone that, you know, is interested in magic, even in passing, it's worth looking into. It's worth going back on. I have a couple beginner magic books that are pretty much designed for, like, they're kids books pretty much. I love those books because there's a lot of value in them. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't think about. You know, I think that there's a double-edged sword with having a lot of knowledge in magic, because then you dismiss the simple stuff. You dismiss, you know, a lot of the simplistic shit. So it's really a double-edged sword, and these books kind of force you, because you're going back and looking through those older simple methods that, you know, are designed for beginners.
Stores or just one.
Clap clap. Pig Cake Literature Club Review 10 out of
Pig Cake Literature Club Review 10 out of 10. But overall, what I just to wrap it up here, as far as the review is concerned, Mark Wilson was my first teacher, and it was through the smaller version of this book that I learned the basics and fundamentals of magic. While the book definitely has its flaws and shortcomings in terms of some of the explanations and scope of the material compared to others, it's still definitely worth it, as you get massive value for the cost. The big book I've seen go as low as $5 online, and it goes even cheaper. It goes even cheaper than that. So that is that's pretty much the review. I definitely recommend a Mark Wilson Guide to Magic. I think that it's a must-have in every person's library. It's, again, a beginner magic book, but don't dismiss that notion, because there's a lot of beginner work that's strong as fuck. So, but that's pretty much the review on that. I wanted to do a little bit of a stream based on that. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I want to have one stream a week that's dedicated to something in particular, a topic. And the other stream is just going to be a chill stream where we talk about hairless cats and testicles. Anyone ever notice that their testicles look like hairless cats after you shave them? Oh, you're a man and you don't shave them? I'm sure your significant other isn't cheating. Oh shit. Let's see. Let's go through these fucking comments. I'm very afraid to go through these comments and see what the fuck is going on. Black edgy sponge balls they sold the Delusionist. Yeah, you can't justify fucking sponge balls. I'm sorry, man. Make them as black as you want. Alright, equal opportunity sponge balls, person of color sponge balls, I don't care. They're fucking sponge balls. Jay Sankey had a product years ago called earplugs, where he did sponge balls with earplugs, right? And the earplugs were these comically oversized earplugs. Even that, fuck that. Dude, I don't know. Use napkins. Greg Wilson has a wonderful way of doing it in one of his routines, where he uses napkins as sponge balls. That seems to me more fucking natural than carrying these red balls on you that you have to take out of your pocket and use. Like, what? Where do they exist outside of a magic store? That's what I want to like find out. Where do these sponge balls exist? Because they don't work as sponges. They don't work as sponges, that's for sure. So then where do they exist outside of the confines of a magic store? So when you take these things out of your pocket, the assumption is that you went to a magic store and you bought these sponge balls and you carry them on you for when you perform. You know, that level of logic is a little bit cringe to me. So I don't have black sponge balls because of ear. They rob my pockets that they're in. Yo, that's fucking dank, dude. Affirmative action sponge balls. Did you know 13% of sponge 13%? Oh shit, you killed me with that, man. I moaned from how fucking good that was. God damn it. Don't you do that with cards? Yeah, I try not to. I try not to. I've had rants on carrying cards on you and not carrying cards. Or if you do carry cards, not to make it look like you carry cards. You know, oh, are these cards, are these yours? No? Okay. Well, we'll use them. But not to, oh, I have cards in my pocket. Let's do something with these. Ill. How's the ankle? I'll check out the book. How's the ankle? It's I don't know if I'm getting better because it still hurts. The ankle has a lot of pain. I'm taking like Advil. I'm not taking what they prescribed yet, even though I don't think I'm gonna. But I've been taking some Advil. It's I don't know if I'm getting used to being cripped or if it's getting better, but it does hurt fucking tremendously. The knee has gotten better. I need to remove the stitches, but here's what kind of scares me. I feel like the guy did my stitches wrong, because how the fuck are they going to take them out? I don't understand how he's going to be able to snip it and then take it out, because it's sticking out. Like the wires are sticking out, and the inside that's stitched and that's knotted, how the fuck are you gonna take these stitches out? Because they're knots, and the knots are underneath my skin. So he's gonna have to cut my skin to take out the knots. I don't know if somebody has more experience with this than I do, but the stitches on my knee, it's like he literally tied together, and there's no way to, like, I'm looking at my knee right now, and I'm looking at where the stitches are located, and there's no way. Most stitches fall out after a few days or weeks. They fall out. You know, because they told me I needed to go back in 2 weeks, and it's been about 2 weeks. So I'm just looking at my knee now. I'm like, there's no way you could take these fucking stitches out. Like, how are you gonna take these? So I'm gonna find that out. I give stitches. I got them. I forgot that you have a cast. I hope you're fine, but they will cut it. See, that's exactly what I mean, dude. That's exactly what I mean. They said that they were gonna cut them off. There's no way to cut them off without actually cutting into my skin. You could pull when you cut the loop. Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna give it a couple more days, and then I'm gonna see what's up with these. If not, I'm probably going to gonna have to go, because I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself. Let's see how it says. From there, I'm down. Hey, boy. Okay. Dan, if you're still listening, yeah, I just got that, and I'm down. I remember when I was limping for a few months in pain, I got really cranky. Yeah, man. I almost die in a shower every time I shower. That's always great. Stefan gives snitches stitches. Cut a nibble on sight, you heard? Do we have any questions about Mark Wilson's guide to magic? Do we have any fucking questions on Mark Wilson's guide to magic? Or are we just gonna talk about pineapple pizza? I'm gonna have a I'm gonna put a poll on YouTube. Look up for that. I'm gonna put a poll on YouTube where I am going to pretty much put certain times and see what is the best time to stream. So again, I plan to have 2 streams a week, as I mentioned earlier. One stream is going to be a Q&A, you know, standard chill stream. The other one is going to be a stream dedicated to something. Today I decided to go on Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic because that's a book that really meant a lot to me growing up, and I wanted to kind of have a little bit of dialogue on that, because again, the book really meant pretty much everything to me. It's my first book, so you know, I really do have a great deal of appreciation for Mark Wilson and his book. Now, as far as why are you magician? Picture so cringe. Says AL. What? What picture? I bought Sankey project that came with 2 rings and some rope, and it was a really dope project. I bet you have some good insight on it. Bucket, a comment without a joke. I'm dying inside. I haven't seen that, dude. I haven't seen that. I imagine it's for you to be able to do that Sankey thing where you pull the ring out and then you throw it back on, like the key trick that he had years ago. Does Mark Wilson like pizza? And so, what's his favorite topping? Mark Wilson seems like a cheese pizza guy. All right, he seems like a cheese pizza guy, as I am. Cheese pizza is the way God intended for people to have pizza, and that's the way Mark Wilson probably enjoys his pizza. Do you have a rope trick you use as a go-to? Well, ropes are, again, as hard to justify as sponge balls, because you're carrying rope on you. So you do have some alternatives. You do have hoodie strings. You do have shoelaces. That kind of, you know, those are, I guess, relatively natural things. But as far as rope is concerned, I think that's pretty much stage. You're delegated to stage and parlor if it's going to be something that you're going to use and do, unless you decide to use an alternative like hoodie strings or you know, rope that's natural to you on your person, like shoestrings or shoelaces or whatever. I have the Mark Wilson's guide, and it's about 9 by 12 and less than an inch thick. Are you saying that there's a bigger version than that? Well, there are two versions. There's a smaller version that I do want to say it's I don't know what the
You could stop
measurement
at 5
is,
or
but
6
it's the
stores,
size of a
or
couple decks of
just one.
cards across,
Hard
right?
for me to hear rope and
Like
not
imagine
make
putting a
chair
couple decks of
joke.
cards across, and then there's one that's a big boy version. That's the picture that I have here on the chat, not on the chat, on the screen. The one to the left of Mark Wilson is the bigger version, left and under, by the way. I didn't realize that I put the same fucking picture there, but that's the size of the other one. Top notch. Hard for me to hear rope and not make a chair joke, or a David Carradine joke, or a I don't even know what else. What else? Famous celebrity. I will fight for pineapple pizza. Right? Jesus, almost died of my coffee there. Pizza needs to have some sausage. That's how real men eat it. You vegetarian commie. So look for the poll that I'm going to put on YouTube to determine when is the best time for these live streams. Usually I like 9 p.m. I find that 9 p.m. is fine. I was supposed to do this one at 9 p.m. but then because I had an engagement later on, but that didn't matter. That didn't matter. So I just did this one early just because I didn't want to not do it today. So I'm going to leave a poll. Also, tomorrow I'm going to have a review on the Ramsey cards that I already shot. I already put the first playing cards. I already did that. So that's going to be up tomorrow. I do have a little bit of a hot giveaway with that, with you and me. And then today I'm going to post a video on the mentalism portion of Patreon on multiple outs. So that's going to be going up today on Patreon. So just to update people on what's happening. But tomorrow's going to be a review on the Ramsey cards. Honestly, what I'm hoping for that review, let me just keep my voice low. Honestly, what I'm hoping is that a lot of people cross over and they see this review where I spend 5 minutes talking about cellophane. And they go, this is stupid. This guy's talking about cellophane. I don't give a fuck about the cellophane. That's what I'm hoping happens, honestly. But we'll see tomorrow if I get an influx of people watching the video that aren't typically subscribers. But that's what I'm secretly hoping, because the entire review is ridiculous. Throwback to Edward Todor. I miss Edward Todor, man. Totor. I miss him. I see him on Instagram every once in a while doing jujitsu shit, letting me know that if I ever get into an altercation with Edward Todor, he'll beat the shit out of me, boy. For scratch offs and just wanted. I like how the stream on the screen shows up faster than the one that I have, which is really funny. Yeah, but the book that I have is really big, Dan. The one that both of them. I have the smaller version, which is they call it a pocket size, which is like a square. It's literally like a tiny square. And there's another one that's this huge rectangle. I'm sure you're talking about the rectangle book. There's no way you're talking about the small pocket square. Even though the pocket square is about like I would say 3 inches thick in terms of the content. But yeah, so that's what's on the horizon for Pig Cake and the content that I'm putting up. I did put my schedule up, but again, the schedule is going to be tentative based on what you guys decide is the best time to post the streams, because I do want to have them on Sunday and I do want to have them on Wednesday, every Sunday and every Wednesday, but the time is going to be up to y'all. So Jay Queck, see you, man. Thank you for joining. Can you do a review on Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz? I read that years ago, man. I read Strong Magic years ago, so I'm gonna have to look through it and refresh. But I could definitely do that. That one and there's another one that's very similar. But I could definitely do that. 1000% if you want. But yeah, so again, I'm gonna have one stream that's a dedicated stream to something, and then another stream that's a chill stream where we could talk about pineapple pizza and sluts. So that's cool. But apart from that, I don't know if we're Gucci or not. Let's see if there's anything else. Is there anything else to discuss here? Let's see if somebody leaves any hot comments here. Any hot comments? Basically any time after 7 on weekdays and after 8 on weekends. I'm sure that'll work for everyone. That matters here. Everything that matters here. You mean one person that rhymes with mop fotch? Somebody that thinks that taxation is theft. tag section is theft? Is that who we're talking about here? What about the video if you and gentlemen wake? Well, unfortunately, me getting hit by a vehicle has put a little bit of a stop on that. I was supposed to do a video with him when he got back from his trip, but again, right now I'm a little bit immobile. And what sucks too is that again, oh fuck, man, I found a bike that's perfect. As a replacement, and it's same price that I got for the destruction of this other bike, but I can't fucking use it, and I can't buy it because again, what am I gonna do with it for the next couple weeks? I'm gonna stare at it. I can't even like bring it back even if I purchase it unless I tow it, which I don't want to do. So it's like I might have to lose on that bike because of the stupidity of having a fucking busted up ankle. So I gotta wait till they take this cast out, and then I'll be able to get it. So that's I'm not fucking happy about that. It's literally perfect. It's the same color. It's a higher engine size. Oh boy. What happened to the woman that hit me? I haven't heard anything from her. Whatsoever. Right now, it's just the waiting process with the whole insurance deal. Luckily, I already got compensated for the bike, but then there's also, there's also going to be some compensation for the medical, and then there's obviously going to be compensation for the broken bones and stuff. So that's going to be a waiting process. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. But dumb, man, really dumb. Did you ever read Devil's Picture Book by Darren Brown? The DVDs, I got the actually on DVDs, VHS, man. The VHS from back in the day, man. I remember those were one of the ones I'm like, Mom, back when I was like 13, I didn't understand shit. So I didn't appreciate it too much later in life, what's the content of that book. But let me see. Do you want me to work you over with a bat so you could get more out of the insurance company? I think I'm going to get enough based on the broken ankle from what I've heard. But, it's just a slow process, man. It's not a fast process by any means. So right now I don't think I've gotten any bills yet from the hospital. So that's going to be something that we're also waiting on. Did you ever go to university? Yeah, of course I did. Unfortunately, looking back now, it was a waste of time and money. But I did. Can you imagine being mentally handicapped and physically handicapped like Pig King? Must have been an amazing parking spot. Yo, I went to the bank the other day and they put me in the handicap line, which is, by the way, right front of the line. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of nuts. Is she still hiding behind lawyers? Well, she hid behind lawyers in the beginning, and then when I told my lawyers about what's going on with her, they're like, yeah, that's dumb because we're not even going to deal with her. We're not even going to talk to her. We're going to deal with her insurance only. So she's just wasting money. So, Shiza. A Fabuloso deck? I think there's going to be some, if I go through a Fabuloso deck, there might be some legal implications on using something that I don't own on a deck of playing cards. So I might not be able to do. I could do something like that. But yeah, apart from that, I think I'm gonna end it here, man. I'm gonna end it here. So I'm gonna put up a poll pretty soon, and just to see what time people tend to like streams, and from there just look out for tomorrow's video, which is gonna be a review on the Ramsey cards, and it's gonna be a giveaway too. But that's about it, man. That's about it. Keep in mind I'll live stream on Wednesdays and Sundays regardless of what time I do it on. I'll find it out and I'll put a little bit of an update post. But that's it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for sticking around this pineapple fucking pizza discussion and on actual rant on humor. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to ingest